and help it maintain it.
Go ahead, Brother Deshaun.
Well, something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Oh,
yes,
okay.
We hear you, brother.
Something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said decades ago, and that is America is for sale. And of course, we've heard this reiterated by Minister Farrakhan many times. There are so many abandoned lots and properties across the United States that Black organizations or Black entities or groups of Black people, Black men in particular, can pool our resources to purchase. Unfortunately, since the advent of integration, Black people economically, I should say, Black people have become collectively economically lazy en masse. So whenever we introduce the concept of becoming independent to Black folk, especially to educated Black folk, so-called educated professional Black people, the concept of economic independence is like it's something new. And so to me, that was the downside of integration. But to counter that, there has to be constant re-education surrounding the Black dollar. And so many people are written on this subject. We've had our brother, Dr. Claude Anderson. We've had Amos Wilson. In the modern times, we have our brother, Dr. Boyce Watkins. We have our brother, George Frazier out of Detroit. So many people have lectured and have written about the subject of Black economics or Black independence, economic-wise. There is no excuse why we should not be a solid economic force within this country. And I say every time, Black folk are panicking now with the possibility of a Republican, now Trump, being in the White House. The Black community should be solidified to the point that it should not matter who was in the White House. See, Black folk got it wrong when it comes to politics. Other communities said we become economically strong first, then we go into politics. But Black folks said, no, let's go into politics, then get money. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Brother James.
Hold on 1 second, brother. Please forgive me. First thing, we have to develop the attitude or change our attitude about buying and using products and services by Black people. We keep going to somebody else to provide for us the things that our community could provide for themselves. I guess that would be first. The second is we need to seriously attack the way our children are taught in public schools as it relates to their education around finance and wealth building. I would say that for me, those two things bubble to the top. And if you look at it, and I know when I grew up in my community, I'm from Newark, originally, Black people own the businesses in their community. Well, that's not a reality now. Somebody else does. Somebody got the money to open up a business, and now we go and we have to buy things from people who don't look like us. And just a final point is, if we didn't have any money, they wouldn't be opening up businesses in our communities, and so we ought to be doing for ourselves.
Thanks, Brother James. Brother Billy, go.
Yeah. To piggyback off of what Brother James said, right? And to quote Claude Anderson, we don't make nothing. So we have to start manufacturing. As he was talking, I also thought about something, a discussion I had with another Lighten brother. And, you know, like the music industry, I'm heavily in the music industry. And if we could just take a hold of that
He got a slow frequency.
Yeah, you got a connection issue.
Okay, go right to Brother Salam.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
We can hear you now. Brother Salam, you want to go?
You can get a hold of the music industry.
Okay, is he still on?
Oh man, what happened there, brother?
Go ahead, Billy. Go. We hear you, brother.
Oh, you hear me? Now I was saying that we could get. take back the music industry and our intellectual property. That's one thing that can bring us a lot of revenue. But also, like the Billy Goat is a clothing line, right? And what it stands for is you don't need $1 billion to have a billionaire mindset. And something he said is about teaching, right, to be wealthy, because wealth is not what we perceive it. I think these discussions will open up, you know, a platform, like open up people's minds also to think, like, you know, that, you know, we don't necessarily need the money. That's what I think the trap is for a lot of our people. Is always like, yo, you need all this money, you need all this money. Now, if you got great ideas and you put them into activation, that the money part is gonna come. The money part is gonna come. And I think, like here in Atlanta, I've never been in a place that's more has more black camaraderie when it comes to business. Here in Atlanta, they got rules like, hey, listen, if you black and you selling something, I'm just gonna buy it just because you black and you selling something. I get that. I got a clothing line and I sell them both, and I get the same message here. Hey, listen, I might not even read your book. I'm just gonna buy it because you're black. So we could stick to those kind of principles that I experience here in Atlanta, and that's why I believe Atlanta is a special place too for black businesses.
Brother Salam.
Yes, sir. Could you hear me clear?
Yes,
Could y'all
sir.
hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We got about maybe 8 to 10 billion black billionaires that we know, but potentially 20 till it reaches mine. But we got about thousands of millionaires, black millionaires. One of the things in my 42 years of work in the community around the country, I haven't seen a coming together of black businessmen, owners. I'm talking about millionaires and billionaires coming together for a collaborative, nationwide black economic agenda plan. I don't think they will ever call that. I think that will have to come from us, grassroots, dedicated, with influence. Some of y'all may not have the influence. I have a lot of influence. Steve have a lot of influence. Brother Tyrone have a lot of influence. Some of the brothers may not have it. But those are the ones who get those folks at the table. I strongly believe, and Malcolm said this and others, if we don't have a collective amongst ourselves, the ones that do have the knowledge, the money, and the ability, that we can never have, our money will never circulate. Because one of the things, and I'll say this and I'll close, one of the things other groups have that we don't have is that they have a law, right, that connected with their culture, with their community, with their spirituality, what have you. So there's no problem with money circulating in their community because they already connected. So until we do that, and economics is about connecting the money. It's not about individuals, because we got plenty of, we got millionaires, we have 10 billionaires, but they're not connected with nothing. So we have to first start off with that, and we have to bridge that gap between those who are on the ground, making it clear the ground for billionaires to first come and exist, and us coming together, coming with a collective idea to have an economic promise for our community. That's it.
Go ahead, brother.
Who is on?
It's you. It's on you, bro.
All right. So, man, the greatest thing is what we're doing right now. Without collective responsibility, it doesn't matter what we're doing individually. There's nowhere in the world, in America, let's just say America, since this is where our issues and angst are. There's nowhere in this America where 100 men such as ourselves can enter a space and don't set the narrative. The problem is The money ain't the issue, like the brother said. We know it's money in our community. We know it's business in our community because, as the minister said, they don't come in our community because there's no money. Foreigners don't produce business in our community because there's no money. It's money. That's why all the different people and nationality come in our community and set up shop. The issue still becomes, because we understand systemic racism and understand the slave mentality, we have no strong men presenting the front in no area, in nowhere, in no cities. There should be no reason where Arabs, Indians, Asians can open up shop in our neighborhoods, and we not there shutting it down and saying, what's the community benefit to this? Some might call it extortion and tariffs. Neither one of us on this line can go in Jewtown, Little Italy, no location, Poland, little Arab town, Chinatown, and open up no shop and expect those people to keep us in business. Man, we got to stop playing with ourselves. We all up here talking about we conscious, Islam and 5%ers and all Masons and we all black men, and we're locked out of every socio-economic space except prisons and graveyards.
That's right.
Man, I'm not sitting around. I don't even, Islam is probably the only person that I know can get me to come on these calls. Because if we on these calls and we're not ready to die in the name of Allah for the sake of freedom and standing on injustice wherever we find it, and we have economic injustice languishing in our communities, and we haven't made the call, Salam, you haven't made the call, we collectively haven't made the call, our brother moderator ain't made the call for us to make an example out of somebody. Like this little, what y'all call them in New York, the little corner store, bodega or whatever they call that, got to go. We shutting it down right now. And in fact, we're going to make you, and I'm going to close. In fact, we're going to make you an offer. We want to buy this location at market value, us collective brothers, because we pooled our resources. We're going to make this, we're going to buy this at give you market value. You're going to sell us the store, because if you don't sell it, everything on the shelf going to spoil and you won't get no value, because none of our women and children will patronize this business anymore, especially your gas stations, because you don't have enough sense to partner with black men. And black men are too weak and cowardice that they let anybody come in our neighborhood and we don't force them to share profit or revenue so we can build our army. You don't have an army, you don't have economics. I don't care what you say. It doesn't matter about how we've successfully achieve whatever we achieve economically. If 10 of us right now in this room can go with our stance, can go anywhere, and we're going to bring 5 or more people with us, we're going to control the narrative, and we're going to make politicians, and we're going to make the enemy listen to us, because we're not playing no more.
All right. Okay. Hey, man. Hey. All right. So as you know, August 2nd, there was a 2.9 trillion.
You still miss the brother. It's another
Gene
brother.
went. Gene went. Who didn't go?
I didn't go. I
Brother
Steven
didn't go.
I
Brother Steven didn't
apologize.
go, and then I didn't go.
I apologize, bro. You laid in the cut.
Go ahead, Brother Steven. I'm watching him. I make sure you get your prompts, brother.
Thank you, brother, and thank you, brother, for the spirit that you have. The brother just spoke. You know, I'm more of a boots on the ground, you know, and being around our people and seeing what's going on in our communities. They bind because these are the stores that's closest to us. They're called convenience stores. So they're conveniently in walking distance. And like the brother said, we got so much, we're the biggest consumer on the planet Earth. If they're going to be in our community and being bloodsuckers of the poor, then we must rise up and show our young brothers in the street where the money really is and how we combine ourselves together. Self-improvement is the basis for community development. There's no shortcut to that. And the way you can do that, we know that this system don't work for us. Why are we still part of it instead of building our own? And the way we can do that, if we have the money's in our communities because it's spinning. And they always come and suck the blood out of us. But the brother is right on target. There is a way to do it. He said, go right to them. We got enough so-called gangsters in the street right now. They act like they run in a corner or a block. And we need to educate them to how to run the block and how to run their community so the dollar can continue to circulate to us. Because if it's going out of the community, it ain't doing us no help. And these so-called leaders and politicians that's been selling us out, we must make example out of them because they are allowing these bloodsuckers to come into our community in the name of revenue. Revenue for who? If it's not circulating in our community, it don't exist. And the way you do that is a community benefits agreement. We've been talking about community benefits agreement. It's legal. It's a legal bounding document, but it's with the community. That's why the so-called politicians don't want you to know about it because they don't control the money. The community control the money. And with that alone, the community benefits agreement, we can start building our own farming, our own airports, electronic, everything. And we don't have to work with them if we don't want to. They have their separate Chinatowns. We have our Black Town. What's wrong with a Black Wall Street? The dollar circulating in our communities. So what happened that it didn't work no more? What happened was politics. We let politics get in the way. And they start, when they touch the money, when the politicians, the Black ones, touch the money, they sold us out because that became their God. But the boots on the ground, them brothers that don't fear anything, that's who I'm with, brother. And that's how we can turn this thing around. Thank you.
I want to add to these amazing suggestions. And that is, first, our greatest weapon is our unity. We need to unite, Black man, to do for ourselves. That's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the greatest weapon for the Black man is in unity. That's what we have failed to do. And we're looking at the results of that today all across our country. So unless we're going to unify and unite, and then we must understand, brothers, going back even to the 1940s, they have studied our method of shopping and spending our money. That they have developed systems that draws us to certain markets. Because we are, we could be the 7th richest nation in the world based on the kind of money that comes in our community, but it doesn't stay. So we could be like the 7th nation in the world, but we are consumers. We're the biggest consumers. They know how to draw us to the market to buy brand name items because we're consumers. If we are able to unite, just like Malcolm said, economics can remove racism. See, these bandits know and understand this. These bandits know and understand this, man, that the Black man is in a present condition and he gonna keep his foot in our neck until we get enough power to stand up and do something for ourselves. We can't make no more excuses. I agree with Brother Tyrone Muhammad. I agree with each and every one, even the young brother. Yes, you're right. Our people will come to us, especially once we come together and we provide quality service. You got to have quality service too. So that therefore, then we can do what we need to do. And I end on this. Power concedes to nothing but power. They're not going to give us nothing. They done proven that to us. They done proven in these politics and these misleaders and Uncle Toms and gatekeepers and sellouts. We got to remove all of them. No, they don't get no more pass. The Democratic Party don't get a pass. The Republican Party don't get a pass. They're not speaking for us. The LGBT community ain't going to speak for us. I'll be honest with you, man. Our women ain't even speaking for us no more.
Peace, brother. Peace. All right. I want to share something with you real quick before I show the next question. I hope I got it. Yeah, there it is. I hope my screen shares. I don't know if you can see it. Did it come up?
No.
No, it didn't come up. Well, anyway, on August 2nd, $2.9 trillion was wiped from the stocks in a day as recession fears amount. So, as you know, since the digitization of the world is coming rapidly, big corporations are using digital currencies now. How should we be moving to take advantage of cryptocurrency and get into these new markets where we see that there's a coming crash, that there's getting ready to be a recession, if not depression? Who wants to go first? Brother Jen, you want to go first?
So I knew you was going to ask me that, brother. So I happen to grow up in a time where we don't talk when we don't know what we're talking about. And so I do have some thoughts. I guess the primary thought is, if this is the way the future is going, having Black people at the back of the line is a bad thing. We need to be in front of this line. And so educating people on this, what did you call it, digital currency? And also, we keep talking about financial literacy in schools. Our young people need to be made aware of this, because we're always last to know, brother. And so my position is, I know very little about it, but I know enough that if something is on the horizon, we need to be in front of the curve than in back of the curve.
I'll try upwards.
Go ahead.
I'll go to Brother Salam, and then I'll get to Billy Goat.
I'm not intellectual enough to talk about that whole thing. I'm not doing that. So I need someone a little bit more knowledgeable on that. I'm usually one a little bit more informed. What do they call it? What is it?
Digital currency. Digital currency.
No, what's the other thing?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah. I've been studying that, trying to get an understanding. But I think for the sake of just understanding, and that's a sophisticated understanding. But I think we're going to talk about economics with our community, because of our lack of intellectuality and economic understanding. I think I wrote and mentioned about the bakers and our stores, and Steve talked about the partnerships that we have. Those are directly in front of us. It's more of a communal kind of thing, community thing. They don't take up a lot of economic people need to come together. It's just basic fundamental of us how we can reshape how people come in our community, how we respond to them, and then our place in it. And I think futuristically, yes, we need to talk about the new economic dynamics coming down the pipe. But I think initially, talk about how we can, the money that's in front of us, the economic habits that we have in front of us, we need to figure that out. I think that should be a priority. That's it.
All right. Brother Billy Goat. Brother Billy Goat, you there? I can't hear you, brother. There you go.
All right, real quick, I want to give a little backstory behind digital currency and the blockchain. It really was created for black market affairs. They was buying children, doing child trafficking, and all that type of stuff, and to hide their dirty, filthy purchases, they created the blockchain and what you call a digital currency. So that's where it started. Then after that, they saw how it's digital currency is basically is not regulated by no government. So me and you could start a coin today, and that's what we need to be thinking about. as black people, right? How to start our own coin and have everybody just it's like the money situation. Say the money only stays in the community. One, with our own coin, right? Of it would just be in our community because it'll be our coin. But also, this ain't nothing but another dirty trick too by the elite, because it went from the gold standard, which every piece of paper was backed by gold. Then they got rid of that, and in 1933 they started the Social Security Act and all of that, which now people actually back the money, the printing of the money. All right, when you understand that part of it, then now that's that. So they talking about what you call a reset, right? That ain't nothing but, listen, now we about to move from that where people was backing it to a digital form, just like the same thing with the music business when it was records and CDs, and that it ain't nothing. You can't even get no money off of the music business no more, because they started this that the whole what they call it
360 deals in the streaming
the streams.
Streams.
So the streams, like right now, I got music out, and you could play my song 1,000,000 times, and I might get $40. You know what I'm saying? Because that's their way of just taking our business. That's why I brought up the music business, because that is the #1 distributed product from America that goes around the world. It's music. That's #1. And black people in America are the chief proponents and producers of music. No matter what you say, we the #1 producers of music. Now, again, if we was to get back out control of that, that's another situation. But when it comes to the Bitcoin, the only way we can win is if we start our own coin and we all agree, like, listen, this is the only coin we gonna fuck with. Fuck all them other coins, and if you want to fuck with us, you got to fuck with us with our coin, and then that will empower us in that realm of monetization. When they go to move it over,
right,
at least we'll be ahead of the game and be able to say, nah, we only fucking with our coin.
Got you. All right, peace, brother, peace.
You fucking with us, you fucking with our coin. And then it was something else that my brother right here at the bottom, he was saying, I wanted to say something. My brother at the bottom from Chicago. I've really been on this thing about this, like that this is our land, right? And that it's like if all of us was to go to China and say we're going to set up a government and make laws, mandates, policies, and so forth and so on. They're gonna say how you want to die. The slow Chinese method. They know you don't have the jurisdiction to create laws and none of that. So that this race and all this fake ass government and this politic tricks. You know what I'm saying? Like really, you don't got no jurisdiction to set up no government, make no laws, mandates, policies, nothing, because you're not from here. It's like I said, if we went somewhere else and said we're gonna set up a government, it ain't gonna work. So I think we need to get back to that thinking as well, understanding what really happened with our people, with the Moors, and how really even this black talk, when we keep saying black, that's another trick. You know what I'm saying? Black, Negro, colored, all of those is words that we shouldn't even be using. And once we get back to the business of nationality, then we're gonna start winning.
Got you.
And I yield.
Got you, brother.
I want to.
All right.
Can I get in on this?
Go ahead.
Listen, we are so far behind in this discussion. These people are right now and have already put in place developing a class of people called the super class of billionaires. They have already have in place right as we speak it. See, we just talking about it. These jokers are moving. So, 40% of Americans have investments in Bitcoin. 40% of Americans is already in Bitcoin. And Bitcoin currency is moving to replace the present currency here in America and then moving globally. See, they are running, this whole thing about inflation, right? You look at inflation. It's inflated what? I mean, they say inflation is coming down. How can inflation come down and Fruit Loop box of cereal is smaller? So the product, you're still paying high prices on your product, but they're still trying to say that inflation is down, and then they're giving you you get a half a bag of potato chips, man. I grew up, we had Bon-Ton potato chips. It was a full bag of potato chips. You're getting a half a bag for a family-sized bag, and it's a half a bag of potato chips in there. I'm just trying to say something to you. Now, let me tell you about this super class of billionaires. Check this out, brothers. Now, if you become a part of the super class of billionaires, then you win to become a gold medal, and they give you the silver and the bronze in your wealth. They working for two big tax reductions right now. This super class of billionaires, and that's the capital gains and the mortgage interest. Think about that. It's no accident that Bill Gates bought all this farmland. So he paid for it. So now he's looking at the capital gain on the farmland and the interest. Man, let me tell you something, brothers. We far behind. We are far behind in this discussion in our community because they done put us to sleep. See, the reason why they don't want alpha black men like this in the room is because game no game. And we'll see the game that they pulling over on us. So they don't want strong black men in the room. We'll read through it, Salam. It don't take a rocket scientist. Most of us are from the streets. We got credit, man. We got receipts. So they don't want you in the game. They don't want you in the room. Because when we start to add it up and look at it, why do you think these major corporations, man, major corporations now are buying homes up, apartment buildings, and turn them into rentals?
Peace, brother, peace.
So they have decided to keep the poor, the young, and the middle class barely making it. They want to keep us making the same amount of money we are making right now and not to be able to go higher in our wealth. They're going to control this wealth, and they're going to control it for the middle class and the poor. It is the upper class and the super rich. The super class is where they're controlling and thinking, and their position is we are going to get richer.
Right. All right. Who else? Go ahead, Brother Salam. You have something to say?
Yeah. Yes, I'm cool with that conversation. But we got things. One of the reasons why I really wanted to have people like Tyrone in particular in Chicago. Chicago is the centerpiece of politics in America. What's going to happen in Chicago is going to be far more bigger than what happened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with the Republican convention. A couple things. One, the Democratic Party is fractioning up. Progressive on one end, the so-called liberal, the mainstream, and the Dixiecrat racists, right? And they're going to be in that they're going to be at the convention, Brother Tyrone, and they're going to be putting together platforms. Those platforms are going to be issues. I think, I'm just cutting to the chase, I think part of our initiative, when we bring all the brothers together and collectively be a part of this coalition, is that we need to have a conversation with the Democratic Party nationally. Now, we have to
You still there?
as part of a contribution. Could y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hello, could y'all hear?
Yes, yes,
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
yes.
Okay, so just hear me out, guys. That this is an opportunity for us to come up with a blueprint, point plan, or whatever, how you want to call it, and bring it down on this Democratic convention, either before, during, and certainly afterwards. And I think that they never seen the grassroots black community, intellectual aspect of our community. Because a lot of the black radicals, all they do is hold meetings, they talk about how black they are, and they preach to the choir. Brother Steve, like Bruce Steve, those are born and killers on the ground. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing no games. They're moving in. Y'all see some of the videos Tyrone has, he's not playing.
Brother Salam.
He's going in and out.
We need to circle this conversation around what's going to happen. Wait, listen, real quick. We need to circle the conversation around what we're going to do in the Democratic Convention. So y'all hear that part?
Okay.
Y'all hear that part?
So, yeah. So it's funny you say that, right? Because it's funny you say that because the last
Y'all hear that?
Yeah, we heard you.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
So what, Brother Salam, this is what I'm gonna do, because really what you just start talking about were the last two questions, and I'll give all of you the time to wrap it up because I think I only got you for like 20 more minutes. So the next question I was going to ask, what policies do we need to focus on that have been promised but unfulfilled for the past 60 years? So that go to your point. The other one is, I believe there needs to be a lobbying institution established to address the legislative needs of blacks in this country. How should we move forward to accomplish our goals and objectives? And I'll save the last one for last. So how do you fellas want to respond to that? Brother Deshaun, you want to respond?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would like to know what policies were promised to us in the past 60 years, because if I recall, the civil rights movement, as it is popularly referred to, was usurped by white women and white homosexuals. So what policies, we appear to have got drowned out. The only thing that we got from what I've read and studied and experienced is that we got to enter into white establishments. So I would like to, and the men being taken out of our homes. So I would like to know, and I'm not at all trying to be smart, what policies were actually promised us specifically, because we kind of got whitewashed, if you would. We got usurped, and this is the problem. This brings us to another subject, but is related. This is the problem with non-black alliances that Dr. John Henry Clark warned us about. He said, you have no friends. And what we saw during the civil rights movement, we saw our movement, we were being used to advance the agendas of other people. We were putting in all the groundwork, but what ended up happening, we were the face of it, but what ended up happening was other folks benefited from what we did. This is the main reason why white women to this day are over 80% of affirmative action goes to white women. For that very reason. So, but I would like to know what policies were promised to us, other than, being allowed to spend money with white people.
Got you. Brother with the all black on. Now, Billy, you'll go after him.
Brother Young.
Brother Young. Yes, Brother Young. I'm calling you in the cut because you laid back in the cut.
I just want to say, man, these are very important issues. I'll go back to that Bitcoin right quick. Every dollar, this country's bankrupt. So why should we even involve with their money? They have notes. They don't have certificates no more. We have to go back to financial literacy amongst our own people, educating them. It don't matter how much money they got. Look at the entertainers and athletes. If they don't know what to do with it, and if they're not spending it in our community and just taking it out, they just as worse. So financial literacy, we got to educate them. Financial literacy, that means they must learn how to spend the money that we give them, most of them. So that's a big issue that we have to continue to deal with. When it comes to the politics, we got too many gatekeepers, man. We ain't getting nowhere until we do find a way to legally deal with the gatekeepers. because they look like us and they're in the way.
They in
And
big
that is big time.
No,
I'm coming
no,
from getting us locked up.
Yeah. No.
You know, and brother, you just hit a nerve. Everybody got something to say now. You just hit a nerve.
I think, bro.
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
No,
Billy, go.
Because
Go ahead.
I just
Yes.
Okay, Billy, go ahead.
No. But if you finish, then Billy go.
Now,
And
I
then
was
we
going to say, we are the gatekeepers, man. I was
No,
going to say,
we not
to
the
add on to what he
gatekeepers.
said,
Billy, go.
No,
We ain't
listen, we are.
Let him finish the point.
We not these gatekeepers. We talking about moving out of the way, brother. See, this is something we haven't done yet.
But we got to understand. We got to understand who we really are. When you use the word gatekeeper, that can't even describe who we really are. We the ones that set the tone for all culture. They have no culture without us. So when you say gatekeeper, that's what I mean, brother. I mean, like, listen, when we as a whole realize who we really are, we more than the gatekeepers. They can't do nothing without us. In fact, this whole reality is based on us projecting the shit that they putting on us. Our people is weak-minded. They've been made that way. So then it's like they just projecting what these people is putting into their head, and they project it as becoming reality. If you perceive a different reality, like myself, I know who I am. I'm God of the universe, right? So if I'm walking around with that and I'm projecting that, guess what? I'm getting that. That's what I'm seeing on my screen, on my movie screen. That's what I'm seeing because I'm projecting it, and that's my reality. So if we as a whole start to embrace the powerful message that Elijah Muhammad left us, that Clarence 13 Smith, and all of these great prophets, because the prophets didn't stop coming back then. We still here. We still here prophesizing and letting the word be heard, right? So what I'm saying is, when I say that, I think the main thing we got to start getting back to is like understanding who we really are and walking and talking with that, not just saying it because it sounds cute or it sounds cool. When I say the black man is God, I know that, I live that, and that is my reality. So everything in my world is based on that reality. So when I come in contact with Europeans, they bow down as if I'm God. I don't even have to tell them that. It's in my DNA. It's in my walk, my talk. They open the door for me. They open the door for me because that's what I'm projecting. I'm not walking around like, oh, I'm a Negro, I'm a black folk, and all this colored shit. No, I know who I am. So that's all I'm saying. That's all that, and I yield.
I respect that. Brother Muhammad.
I want to give clarity to that for a second. What the gatekeepers we talking about, brother, is these sellouts in our community portraying as if they speaking for us and representing us and diverting the resources from our people that really should have those resources. So what we're referring to, I understand what you're saying. The reason why we on this call is because we're standing up to say we no longer going for this, and they know that if they came in a room with all of us here in the room, they're gonna sit down in the corner and keep their mouth closed. Because they know they're in the room with the real men in our community that they don't want the other folks to come in contact with, because we wouldn't go for none of this crap that they are doing. So we got to remove those gatekeepers, is in reference to those sellouts, those Uncle Toms. You understand what I'm saying? Because all of us on here, we alpha men. We straight up, we gangster with this thing, partner. We know how to handle ourselves, and we put fear in them. So that's why we're sick and tired of them coming back to us, especially around election time, all these false promises, and don't have the black man on the agenda at all, and nothing. We get nothing out of this. So it's about how we gonna come. We got to have to come up to take care, because black men want to take care of their woman. They want to take care of their children. They want to take care of their community and protect their community. They want to serve the God of their understanding and be upright. That's what we need to talk about, and that's what we need to be doing, because these jokers been in our way, and we sick of them, and that's why the black man right now today across America is feeling what we feeling right here and expressing. So that's the gatekeeper we talking about. I understand what you're talking about, but we got to get there. We got
not a misunderstanding.
That's
Nah, I
cool.
had a
It's all. That's why we're here
misunderstanding.
talking. That's why we're here talking.
I need you to stay right there,
Thank you,
partner.
brother.
We
Thank
need
you.
you to stay right
That's
there.
why
We
we're here
need
No,
talking.
I know what you mean. You talking about the Tavis Smileys and the
Yeah.
and you know, all of the
The new celebrity class. The celebrity class.
I said about Tavis.
Hey, Tavis, my man. Though.
No, sir.
No, Tavis, my man. Tavis, my man. Nah, I don't know about Tavis, man. Hey, man.
I'm talking about anybody else.
So,
wait,
so
hold on. I take issue with that
Go
because
ahead, Deshaun.
I wouldn't become a journalist. Hold on. Had it not been for Tavis, I wouldn't become a journalist. But remember, the black gatekeepers they can't stand Tavis because he spoke against Obama. If he was one of the gatekeepers, he would kiss Obama's behind. But black media and black people in general turned against Tavis because he said, hell no to the gatekeepers. We're going to hold this Negro accountable.
Tried to do him like they did Bill Cosby.
I just hit his day.
You know what?
Nah, we talking about that new black entertainment class. We talk about that new black entertainment class. Hey, listen.
Doesn't mean that, you know, I'm sorry, bro. Let me mute myself.
Nah. And it's getting late, brothers. It's after 7
No.
now.
Listen. We gotta go. We gotta get through.
I got one question, man. I'm the moderator, brother. I love you now. You know how I do. Let me rock. So now, here is the most important thing that I heard you men say today. And brother Mutai Elamine is in the comments, brother Che is in there, sister Munera is in there, and I appreciate all of you, jumping on and coming in and sharing your thoughts. But I get it. Munera said it best. We need action. We need more movements and not announcements. And so I want to offer this as the last question before Brother Emmanuel wraps up for us, and you all give us your last final statement for the evening, if you don't mind. What are some of the next steps? Because there's some things that I think that we should be doing immediately. We have each other email addresses. There are different policy platforms, especially with Me Towards Education. I know a real special brother, man, Amir Little, man. He does a great financial, coaching thing where he's teaching people about cryptocurrency and market rates and how, fiat currency and things like that. So I'm committed to that over that on that level. So I would like for some of you, if you could take the last couple of minutes to tell me what your what our next steps.
Well, let me real quick. I appreciate all you all. First of all, in America and in the live chat and those that's watching and the listening audience, this the most powerful room in the world right now. And I'm gonna say that so to my brother point of being God. When you understand who you are, and the whole world is heterophobic. And that's a real, I'm gonna coin that. I've been saying it forever. It's heterophobic, as this, in opposition to real black men controlling their community. When the gays tell me, "Oh, you homophobe," I say, "Y'all heterophobic." See, this is the problem. The hell with crypto. The hell with all of that. At the end of the day, the people still control the cloud where your cryptocurrency is being processed. Man, brother Salam Ismail said it right here. Chicago right now is the apex of maneuverability of coaching, molding, destroying the black culture. And brother, I know why he say don't say black, because there's more sign right now. We're not black. We don't know who the hell we are. That's the real identity, man. Because if we knew who we were, you wouldn't need Noble Drew Ali. If we knew who we were, we wouldn't need Don Elijah Muhammad. If we knew who we were, we wouldn't need Rabbi bin Amin and all of these people who have identified. What I do know in this hour, this time, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 black men who say they are men of consequences. If we don't figure out from the 10 black men or 5 black men or whoever else out in the listening audience that want to join on to what we trying to do or what we doing, then what are we doing? I'm tired. Bro, I tell the politician, pastors, and police, that violate our community, that we're going to drive all y'all coward ass to Lake Michigan. And it ain't no such thing as legal, my brother, because the laws is not legal. We haven't even remedied the illegal crap that happened as a result of systemic slavery and transatlantic slave trade. Ain't no legal. Stop using that term. We are surviving. We have to listen. Everybody always talking about freedom in heaven, but ain't nobody talking about dead. Ain't none of y'all ready to die. This is the most dangerous place in the world. I know why I get 100 death threats a month. If you ain't getting death threats, bro, you ain't doing enough. You ain't doing enough. Salam Ismail will tell you, I wear bulletproof vests because I expect to get shot. Now, if you ain't expecting to get shot, if you ain't expecting to get death threat, then you get off this line. How you got 80 million ex-cons in America? We kill each other, but let some punk-ass politician and pastor be a gatekeeper over gangsters and men.
Teach,
they some fucking mice, and we asking permission to move them out the way. Man, we crazy. Man, I ain't got no time to play games, man. That's why, Salam, you see me choking the police out by myself. I can't do this, man. We can't keep talking about Allah is God, and we should give our life before our words should fail, or there's no God but Allah, and you scared to die. Man, I don't want to hear that no more, because all that is symbolism without substance. If we can't find a reason and a cause, let me tell y'all real quick and I'm gone. All the cobalt, all the mineral, the oil, the uranium, and the bullets that still killing black people and black men and women, and all these phones, the stuff that the cryptocurrency is flowing through the air, and all these airwaves and solar panels, that material is coming from Africa. That's right. Raw material, which represents resources and revenue. So you can keep going to the sky looking for some fake imaginary fiat, while the Chinese, the Britain, and America is still mining in Africa, taking out all the minerals and selling it to our communities while we duck in Africa. Man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all like this here. We supposed to be mobbed up at the United Center at the Chicago to show the Democratic Party that Black death can no longer be a hustle, and that I started the ex-cons for Trump movement. Not because Trump the best candidate, but because the Democrats do not have a monopoly on our vote. And if it was Mickey Mouse running, I'm voting for Mickey Mouse over the Democratic Party. I'm just saying we got to have a larger conversation and the privacy, because my goal, my mind, and I'm telling FBI, CIA, the government, the police, and whoever on this line, our goal is to kill your ass for selling us out. My goal is to chop your goddamn head off like Khalid bin Walid. My goal is to drive you niggas into the lake in a fire, a furnace of hell, and get back to business of doing Allah's job, whatever name you want to call them. I ain't caught up in that. We got to do God in us in order for our women and children to live. Man, the record companies ain't nothing. If we stand in and say, hey, Sony, you Jewish-led group, you this and that, man, listen, you put one more record sale out there, we kick it going to your Palacio mansion where you operate at CEO, and we kicking your fucking gates down if you put one more nasty song out there about you sexy red. We're not playing, man. We men. The women go when we go. Our children go where we go. Right. And it's unacceptable for black boys to terrorize and murder black women and kids in these communities while we pontificate about who the Lord of the world is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
That's
let's go, man. And let's organize and show up somewhere. Call me, I'm coming. Show up somewhere and let's make an example so it can go viral. Make an example of shutting the damn gas station down, and we create the black-owned gas station or a partnership with anybody come in our community. We target and say, y'all, we standing on this, and y'all shutting down operation. Please, sisters and brothers, please go to another gas station until we finish our business at this one. We shut it down, and them Arabs gonna know it all the way in Saudi Arabia, pimping off us with all that money, and in Dubai, pimping off us with this gas stuff in our community. They gonna give us what we need to fight this war. So we about to get to the business of not worrying about no money. Every man on this line should be a billionaire. Every man on this line should be a billionaire. You know why? Because we got money, home, friendships, and all walks of life. We going over there, and they got my money in there. Oh, man, I'm an advocate. They got my money. I want it.
That's good peace, brother. That's good
Thank
peace.
you, brother. Thank you, brother. Brother Deshawn.
Well, my thing is, I have to quote our brother Kwame Ture, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael, either join an organization or start an organization. Organize, organize, organize. So many of our leaders that came before us, so many of our prominent public figures that came before us, and they've laid out blueprints for Black power, if you would. They've laid foundations. They've given us a model. They've given us examples, and we've had too many examples, and we have been presented too many good models for us to be this stagnated at this point in our development. Okay, for those of our people who are watching this broadcast, and you are in bed with Democrats, in bed with Republicans, but specifically Black folks who are worshiping Vice President Kamala Harris, I'll say this: Dr. John Henry Clark warned Black people about mistaking ceremony for substance. And I'm going to ask the question to Black Republicans and Black Democrats: how does a Trump presidency and a Harris presidency benefit Black America? Answer that with 5 answers. And, if you can't answer with 5 answers, don't just tell me to vote. And this goes out to Democrats, Black Democrats. Please stop telling us to vote just because we wish to defeat Trump. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome. I keep saying that white supremacy exists on both sides of the aisle. I'm harder more so on the Democrats because they are deceitful. Okay, that's the devil you don't know. And that's why Brother Malcolm referred to the Republicans as being the wolf and the Democrats as being the fox. Now, I'm going to say this here to Black conservatives: please stop quoting Brother Malcolm to justify why you're voting Republican. He was not excusing conservatives or Republicans. He was telling Black people to be more mindful of Democrats or liberals because they are deceitful. And I'm going to end with this. Black folk, I'm sorry, we have a damn fly. Black folk, please stop using our ancestors, our holy ancestors, to justify maintaining white supremacy. Oh, well, I'm voting for Trump because Malcolm said don't trust the Democrats, and or if you're a Black Democrat, oh, well, I'm voting because Martin Luther King and Malcolm X would have been against Trump. As Brother Zaid Muhammad used to say, keep your damn mouth shut when it comes to that. Hotep Black Power.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Billy, go.
I was gonna say, for me, it ain't even about I'm voting for Trump because I see the policies of the Democratic Party that is so backwards that if we don't get them back in there, we're gonna be in real trouble, real trouble. And especially when you look at this this policy about 6-year-old children can change their gender. That right there, and this whole thing about having transgenders in women's sports, that ain't nothing but a Democratic policy. We can pinpoint where that policy come from. So things like that, you know what I mean? Like the open border, ain't nobody suffering but Black people in America from all of these illegal immigrants coming in here, and then you giving them. Bro, I seen it with my own eyes in New York, bro. These immigrants got debit cards that get reloaded every month.
$5,000.
In Chicago too.
Bro,
They got
Yeah, in Chicago, they say
$5,000 every month.
So
They eat ETB cards for food stamps. It's
and let me say
$13,000.
something.
One at a time.
You can say whatever you want about Trump. You know damn well he ain't giving nobody that but Americans that money. He wouldn't have gave Ukraine that fucking money. He wouldn't have did none of that shit because he didn't do it. And now that's what we up against. So it ain't a thing about Trump or Biden. Listen, they both white men that you could say racism about both of them. But what I can say is that when I follow the policies, fuck what you do in your personal life, the policy. When I look at the policy and that man say, listen, first thing I'm gonna do is do the largest immigration deportation in history, get these motherfuckers out of here and drill, baby, drill. And the motherfuckers go crazy because if you understand what drill, baby, drill means, that gas was at 168 when that man was in there. These are facts because for some reason, none of these presidents wouldn't drill for oil on American soil. They had some deal with these Saudi Arabians. They made them so rich, they built a whole city called Dubai off American oil money. That city was built off American oil money. 20 million barrels a day or a month. There's a lot of oil. When he gets in there and drills for that oil and the gas goes down, we got the biggest oil reserve in history under Trump. I don't care how you feel about him as a person. That doesn't mean nothing to me. If my oil, if the gas is low, that means the food is low. That means the energy is low. We energy independent. We're not dependent on nobody for energy. To me, that's common sense shit. And I can go down the line about a lot of common sense shit that he did that the media never wanted to tell nobody and give him the praises for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit. Only thing they wanted to do is dog him out every day, to the point where they created Trump derangement syndrome. We know this. You can't even mention this name. You can't even mention this man's name in an intellectual conversation. You
That's peace, bro. Brother
Salam and Stephen Young.
Brother Steve, in the cut, baby, in the cut.
I'm in Atlantic City, New Jersey, in the cut. Hello? Right?
Yeah.
I just want to say, you know, our culture and our ancestry, if we were to understand and learn more about that, we can solve the ill issues in this country overnight. And it starts with our young people, the grassroots, in the street, because it's very important that if we're not supporting and standing up for our women and children, then we're not standing up for our future. So what we have in common as a people, we must continue to strive for that. And when you vote, see, what we've been making as a people is a major problem. Yeah, we vote on election day, but do we hold them accountable the day after? And when they comes, are we at those meetings when they making law and legislation to take us backwards? No, we're not there. Because there's no way they could have reversed everything that we bled on the ground with throughout these years. So we must be educated on following up with our vote, because it's just like not voting at all. Because they use our vote and they prostitute us because of the fact that we allow them to do it, because we go to sleep the day after election day. Yes, the day after election day, we should be right there before they get inaugurated and say, now you deal with us. And here's our agenda to move forward. And we're going to track you and give you a report card on a weekly basis on your progress report on dealing with us as a people. But we really need to educate ourselves on not only voting, but voting education afterwards. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you.
Brother Gene.
Peace.
So I guess the first thing from my perspective is we have to stop being so darn emotional, right? And people come to us and they want us to vote for them, but we make no demands. We don't even have an agenda laid out that we can hold them accountable to. So the place we need to start is we need to start being so divided and get focused on exactly what it is that we want, and we hold them accountable and make them speak on it in public. A perfect example to me is I watched, and I don't get so I don't do people, I don't do personality, I don't do parties, I do policy. Right, and then I need evidence. So I heard that this new act, this bill, border bill, that Sister Kamala said she would sign as soon as it got to her desk. But over the past 4 years, we had 1,200 Black people that were killed by police. So what happened to the George Floyd bill? Why ain't that at the top of this? So I would say to us, brothers, that we need to seriously think about what things can our unity be used as leverage against these people, whether they're Republican or Democrat. Because ain't nobody talking about stuff for us. I'm sorry, specific stuff for us. Criminal justice reform is simply one. And then show you how wicked this. in the past 4 years, 19 states, Republican-led, I might add, have put voter restrictions so people who look like us can't even vote. Why do they do that? Because there's power in our unity, right? So I don't do this party stuff. I want to know what's going to benefit people who look like me. And I'll close on this note. So I'm in New Jersey. 94% of Black people voted for the current Democratic governor. The governor did a disparity study in January that said Black businesses get 0.5% of $1 billion in New Jersey contracts. So why are we talking about that when we got Black businesses? Maybe there's thousands of them here in the state, and we can't get none of that paper. That's the kind of stuff. So those priorities for me, economic equity is one, criminal justice reform is another. And then I would say that the ability to be able to vote for who I want, wherever I'm at in this country, is three. Because when we got into football and basketball, we took over, right? Well, the game now, we acting like it's checkers and it's chess. Three-dimensional chess at that. And we getting used and abused, and we can't even come together on 3 or 4 different specific points anywhere in this country that'll benefit Black people. Here's one. Check this out. In our children in Trenton, right? Only 30% of high school graduates immediately go off to some post-secondary track, community college or 4-year institution, right? That means that 70% of our children don't go any further than the hood. Well, why aren't they getting access to some of those educational dollars to go to trade school so that they could do something for themselves and start begging people for jobs? That's the kind of stuff. Gotcha. But we keep fighting that battle right here. I'm going to keep fighting that battle right here, brother.
All right. All right, Brother Gene. I appreciate it. That's what's up. I appreciate it. Brother Salam.
Boy, I hate to be on this damn travel. Listen, very simple. We need to take advantage of an opportunity that we have now. One, I think, like John said, we need to identify, I would say, 100 Black across the country that think like us, right? We need to form a coalition. I'm not doing my organizing abilities here. Then we need to form a coalition. I mean, we don't have a whole day to do this. Statements from this coalition.
He broke up.
I want to add
It's
this.
easier to put pressure on the Democratic Party. Let me finish. We wouldn't put pressure on the Democratic Party. we're going to do something, we need to come up with some points, some quick demands of points. That's number one. Secondly, we need to launch whatever strategy you want to do at the convention, during the convention, and after the convention. We need to put some real dark pressure on the Democratic Party. And I think that we do that with a strong, visible collective of Black men nationwide. That's what we have to do initially, like right now. You hear that?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes, sir. We heard you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
That's
because
the move.
listen, if we don't, we need to move that fast. And once we kind of get that halfway together, then we come with some points of demands, and then either we can do some presses up here or presses in Chicago, doing before and at the convention. We've got to do that, brother. And that will bring us high visibility, and it'll put a shockwave throughout this country that they never seen before.
So I'm just thinking, in order for us to really be successful, Brother Salam, we create everybody that's right here, everybody in this circle, and we can always add people that got insight, that got resources, that we amongst ourselves supposed to create pledges and statements of respect and honor. It's like just like I got to recite joining the nation a letter, or I got to recite the message or the words or my general orders. It's like you have to figure out how we build real unity, coming up with a name, making a foundation, a corporation, or a conglomerate, whatever we got to do collectively as Black men. When we approach, we coming from that vein where we got a street team, where we got he's over military, this one over business, this one over real estate, this one over agriculture, this one over. We gotta figure out first of all that comes back to the demands we want. If it's about building land and farmland, a 3-year economic plan, then we should be talking about how we get these funds up to buy land. So I'm only just saying, we have to, when we do this convention, I fly to New Jersey, New York, Atlanta, Georgia, wherever y'all at, man. Let's get organized and get out the trivia stuff, and let's start mobilizing. And this group right here act as the founders of whatever it is that we finna push for Black men to join on or something. The world looking for leadership, and they following driller, killers, and sliders in Chicago. So I know we got something better than that.
Brother Tyrone, I want to add to that. And when you talking about organizing, because organizing is what we need to do, but we also need to have, and one of the questions is we need to understand how do we really affect policy and whatnot in this country. And policy, and as they say, all politics is local, but we need to really look at policies on the city level, the county level, the state level, and the federal level. Now, just think about this idea here, brothers, because y'all know how to add quick. If we got, say, 10 million Black men in America, say 10 million Black people or 10 million Black men in America, and we ask them to give 25 cents a day, a quarter a day. That's what $1.75 a week. That's
a quarter a week could put us there.
No. I'm talking about a quarter of a day. Just let me follow me for a second, right? That means the price for a bag of potato chips, $1.75, right? A day. So a week, that's $1.75, right? That's $91.25 a year from every Black man. 10 million. Do you know how much that is for 1 year from 10 million? That's $912 million. 900, well, how you put that? $912 million, $500,000. So that's from 1 year by just giving a quarter a day. $1.75 a week, $91.25 a year.
Can I just add if I may? And I shut up? first of all, I'm not believing in it, brother. So 10 million, man. If you can convince me, the minister Farrakhan said he needs 10,000 fillers, right? You know why he said he needs 10,000 fillers? Because if 10,000 fillers was in the mosque, he wouldn't have asked for 10,000 fillers. 10,000 fillers ain't even in the mosque, and they have ideology. So the 10,000 feelings that we must create is killing each other in these streets, in this highway. They don't even know that they're not opposition. So all I'm saying to you, bro, you talking 10 million. I tell you this, if we organize 10,000 feelers, we're going to go get 100 billion from Saudi, Kuwait, all these rich so-called Muslims in every community. So all I'm saying, let's organize 100 black men first. And then let's organize 1,000 black men. Then put 100 a flight, 100 put that. We know the scripture, but I guarantee you, brother, we won't have to focus on money, because the very enemy that see us coming gonna be trying to give it to us to slow us down. But I'm telling you, let's go, man. These doggone athletes and these doggone multi-millionaire singers, songwriters, and entertainers, when they see real men walk up in that arena and see us standing in these houses of ill repute, watch what they do. They gonna get it. They gonna know that their booty and that deity that they worship don't have no real power over the collectivism of God and these black men coming at our asses.
Absolutely. And I agree 100% with you, brother. But what I'm saying to you is we got to start putting into the mind and the thinking, because we know that it only takes one good man to raise 1,000 good men. It takes one good man. We learned that, brother, that it takes one good man to raise 1,000 good men. So one good man can raise 1,000. So we got 10 men on here. So you're looking at 10,000 there, but we got to get on our dean and get to work. I totally agree, and I totally understand what you're saying. I'm still going to push that 25 cents. But you understand what I'm saying? So therefore, if we can move, when we move to the next level and follow up on the things that everybody have discussed, and Salam and everyone have discussed, and see where we are. But I think that everybody needs to come and have a conversation with us, not just the Democrats. I think everybody needs to be a part of this conversation.
Brothers, I appreciate you coming on. We've been on here for an hour, 40 minutes. This was a worthwhile discussion. Thank you very much. Brother Emmanuel, you want to give everybody the peace and take us out of here, man? Thanks for sharing your platform with us today.
Well, where's Brother Tyrone? You still there? Oh, there you go. Yes, sir, brother, big brother.
Yes, sir, I'm still here.
I want to thank each and every one of you for coming on here. I mean, this has been I don't even know where the time went. This has been one powerful, powerful conversation. Your contributions is recorded. And we got to move, brother. This is the first step, and we'll be back on next Sunday. So if you have some additional brothers from around the country, we had a couple of brothers from California that was supposed to be on tonight, one from Watts and Compton, but apparently they may have got the time mixed up also. You follow what I'm saying? I'm almost certain, because they was pumped for it, so it may have slipped their mind. But I want to thank you all, brother Stephen Young, brother Deshaun, my young brother, brother Adams, and our moderator today, and brother. I mean, this has been a very moving conversation that I believe that our people is waiting to hear, that men across this country is waiting to hear, this kind of collective body coming together. And I just pray, brothers, that, the Creator, and I believe, Tony, brother Tyrone, you hit the nail on the head, man. You hit it on the head, partner, and you gotta keep that fire, because it's sincere, is real, and I'm just happy that we moving forward, black man. I'm just really, really happy about that. It's nothing but a come up left for us at this point. And as long as we sincere around the country and other men start to organize and mobilize, I know our brother Kevin Jenkins is in Florida, and they got this hurricane and this storm down there, so his power is out, so he couldn't get online, but he'll be on next week, and we just gonna keep on pushing this. And Salam, you are right. We need to have a Zoom call offline so that we all can discuss our planning and strategy and agenda. That's not something we want to put out publicly on this broadcast. So I thank you.
Well,
I leave as we came.
I'm most willing to, real quick, I'm willing to host Chicago for y'all to come to Chicago, and we organize and figure that out as well when y'all get here, man, because it's time for us to push on this Democratic National Convention.
All right. You got it, brother. You got it. Hey, fellas, thank you so much. We thank you so much. Thank you all. We appreciate you coming on the show. Everybody have a great and safe weekend.
I salute everybody on here, man. Real dude, real gangster shit.
Peace and love, everyone.
Appreciate you, brothers.
Peace.
Brother Steve.